Today we are in Cranford, New Jersey, and we're going to take you on a tour of this fabulous town. This town is a historical town. It is a revolutionary town. It was founded and established in the early 1800s, and it was named after the Crane family, and that's where it's got its fun name of Cranford, New Jersey. Right now, we're standing next to the Cranford Movie Theater. It's been here since the early 1900s. It's obviously been updated and placed some new films, but you could also catch some oldies here as well. And this is really the heart of Cranford. We're standing right now in the downtown area. I'm gonna take you on a little walk through the trains, talk to you about the commute into New York City. I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of the parks as well, and some fun restaurants and things that you could do in this wonderful town. But also we'll highlight the schools and also invite you to see 3 homes that sold way above asking price just recently in this wonderful town. This town has a lot of wonderful small shops, right? So a lot of like mom and pop shops, as you call them, and that's what makes this town so special. Right now we're standing next to the general store, which has like cute little tchotchkes, really fun curated selection, not your everyday big store items. If you notice, there's really not a lot of brands in this town. It's really very much maintain its character of small town living. This town is also really big on wellness. Obviously, you'll see a lot of fitness studios as we walk around. Home Power Yoga is a hot yoga studio here in town, which, talk about a sweat. You are in an infrared sauna room in insane heat of 100 degrees doing power yoga moves. So that's a great place to start if you're visiting this town. Lots and lots of coffee shops. There's actually a few new ones that just opened up that I love, and we'll show you them as we walk. As we walk through the downtown, you could see that this is kind of the center of the downtown. This is where your train station is. And as you could see, all the streets are filled with little cafes, restaurants. One of my favorite restaurants here is the Mizu Sushi. So obviously, New Jersey has a lot of really good restaurants. Sushi is something that's kind of hard to find here. Mizu Sushi is known for their fresh, delicious rolls, very unique selection, but also people actually travel from all over to come check out the food here. So that's a great spot to check out if you are in town. Here we have Urban Burger, established over a decade ago. It's a great place to grab a bite to eat right after work as you get off your train station and you're walking home. Talk about a walkable town. This is the definition of it. There's sidewalks everywhere, super friendly to pedestrians, lots of parking. This town really has figured it out. But again, as we walk through the town, you'll notice really not a lot of big brands. This is very, very small town feel, but in a really fun downtown area. Palma's Cafe is actually one of the new cafes that opened up here. I think they opened last year. Really fun selections of savory treats and sweet treats. They have interesting coffees too, like very unique coffees. They even have a protein coffee. So definitely a spot I would recommend you check out if you're in town. As we approach the train station, you'll notice that there's a Track 5 cafe. That cafe is known, it's been here forever. It is the #1 spot really for people to grab a coffee on the way to the train station. Quick and easy, almost like a Starbucks, but definitely small town feel cafe. One thing we're gonna touch upon as we walk through this town is the different events that they host here. Every Tuesday and Thursday night during the summer hours, they do host Sweet Sounds here. So right here in this square, there's usually a setup of a band. Every week it's different. So again, if you are checking out this town on Tuesday or Thursday night from 6 to 8 p.m. in the summertime, this is where you can catch some Sweet Sounds. So similar to Westfield, which we've covered before in our video where we covered a lot of the towns in Union County. There's a south and north side here as well. So we're right now standing on the north side. That is the south side across the train station. Usually the train separates a lot of these towns with the tracks. Downtown kind of continues to the south side, which we'll take a walk in a few minutes. As we cross to the south side, underneath the tracks, as you'll notice, there's a great hotel, the Cranford Hotel. This area doesn't have a lot of hotels, obviously, but this is a nice, almost like a bed and breakfast kind of a feel hotel. There's a fun restaurant bar on the ground level. But as we cross to the south side, there's also a lot of new restaurants opening in town. There is Vine and Oak, a really great steakhouse that's been here for a few years. Amazing ambiance, but they're also opening up a pizza, like oven brick pizza place right next door. So you'll have an upscale restaurant and also like a very easy casual vibe. Notice how cute all the streets are. Everything is paved, like everything is very, very well manicured. There's a lot of flowers everywhere. This town is very well maintained and taken care of. People who live here truly love it. They're not here just for a season. They're not just here for a year. Most people who live in this town live here for generations. And even if they leave to schools or they build a life somewhere else, usually when they're ready to build their own family, they come back to Cranford. Marina and I have plenty of clients that move out of Cranford just to realize they want to be right back here. This place truly has character that a lot of other towns don't. So obviously right now we're standing by the Cranford train station, and this is the easiest way to get in and out of town. It's 45 minutes on the train. We're 15 miles away from New York City. It is not a truly direct train. You do have to stop over in Newark and switch trains, but that's super easy, usually on the same platform. Takes no more than, you're under an hour in New York City. But you do have other options. You have the Garden State Parkway that will take you to New York City in under an hour. You have Route 22 that is also very easily accessible from Cranford. There are plenty of buses to get you to New York, and this is one of the reasons why people choose to live here. It is because it is a very, very commutable town. Walkable town and commutable town. One of the reasons why people also move to Cranford is the school system. This is top-rated schools all throughout town. We have 4 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and then they all feed into Cranford High. Cranford is a very proud town with a big community, sports community. They are the Cougars. So what you see behind me is all new development. We are along the train line, we are on the south side, and what you see behind me is buildings going up. These are all rentals. These are not for sale apartments. There are usually 1 to 2 bedrooms. There are very rarely 3 bedrooms in these homes. But if you are trying to get into Cranford, or you just want to get your feet wet and check out the town and live here for a little while, this is a great way to start. If you're not ready to commit, you're not ready to purchase, getting into one of these units will get you the walkability to the train station, the beautiful walkable downtown, and access to the schools, so you could get a little taste of what Cranford is all about. These units behind me, which obviously are not built yet, but there are more that are already ready to go. They run you about $3,000 to $4,000 for a 1-bedroom and anywhere between $4,000 and up for a 2-bedroom. I know that sounds unaffordable, but if you're coming from New York City and your rent is $10,000 for a 2-bedroom or more, if you're coming from Hoboken or Jersey City and you're used to paying a lot more for a lot less square footage, these 1 and 2 bedroom apartments are actually really large. They're anywhere between 1,200 square feet to about 1,500 square feet. So you do have room to spread out, and they do have some fun amenities. So definitely something you could check out if you're not ready to commit and purchase in this town, but you do want to get your feet wet and try living here. I know I mentioned sushi before, but there's a lot of other really fun restaurants here. Steakhouse across the street. There's French restaurants. There is a Mediterranean Greek place that we go to all the time. There is a great, it's called 100 Steps. It is a seafood restaurant. They have the best raw bar, and they do have oyster happy hour. So if you're checking out this town in the afternoon, great place to stop by. Most of the restaurants in New Jersey are BYOB. That one in particular is as well. So grab a bottle of wine and enjoy some fresh seafood. So one of the interesting things about Cranford is the Rahway River runs right through Cranford, which is a plus and a minus. The big plus is they have a canoe club. You could actually rent canoes, you could rent kayaks and paddleboard right through the river. It's super, super charming, really a fun activity to do. This is also the place that once a year around October, they do the duck race, where they put the little ducks, the little yellow ducks in the water, and you could bet on the winning duck. And it's a very competitive sport here in Cranford. So this is definitely a really fun place to hang out in. The Rahway River running through Cranford also has some negative side effects. One of them is flood zones. There are some homes in this town that are flood zone. So what does that mean? You do have to have flood insurance on the home. Could run you anywhere between $1,200 extra a year to $3,000, depending on the size of the home and what you have inside that home. It does flood. So the flood zone, when we have heavy rains, when we have hurricanes, rainstorms, the river does rise and it does come out of its bay. So the homes that are near the river do occasionally flood. Not a big deal. Do your due diligence. Make sure you check the flood zones when you are shopping in this area. Make sure that you are prepared for it. It is still an amazing place to live, and people don't stop living near the river just because of the flooding. Flooding only happens once every 5 years, 10 years. It's not an every year event. It is a little bit of a pain in the ass, but if you have flood insurance, they will cover all the damages. And even if you're not in the flood zone, a lot of homes in this area do have French drains, sub pumps, just trying to keep the water out of the house. Again, not a major issue, but something you should be aware of. But look at this tranquility, look at this fun activity that you could do in the summertime. I highly encourage it. So right now we're in the No Mohegan Park. This park is beautiful, has a really nice lake in the middle of it. People do come fishing here. You do fish and release. You can't keep what you catch, but it is a fun activity to do with your family. This park also has a lot of trails. It goes all the way around, probably a couple of miles to get you all around the park. It does even have like a little workout station along the trail. They do a lot of fun events here. One of them is on 4th of July. They do a 4-mile race. We've done it several times. It's really fun. Again, it just runs through the park, gets onto the streets. A lot of firemen run that race with us. Definitely a great community event to check out if you live here, if you haven't seen it yet. There's a lot of picnic tables. You could do little parties down there if you could see past the fountain. And you could even get a permit and have a bigger party with a DJ and all of that in the park as well. Look how tranquil. This park is also connected to Kenilworth and Springfield, so the two other towns that are bordering Cranford. Look how beautifully manicured the whole park is. There is, as you can see, a batting cage over there, or like a baseball field over there. There's also monkey bars and like a kiddie park. And this is beautiful through all the seasons. Right now we're in the summer season, so obviously you see all this lush landscaping. But as you get into fall seasons and everything changes color, this is definitely a place to hang out. Across the street, there is a dryer farm, which is basically a farm store. They sell plants, they sell trees, they sell food. They do make the most delicious pies. We do purchase a lot of those pies during a fundraiser in the fall through the schools of Westfield, and we gift them to our past clients and our friends to support the community and also to support the schools. But that farm, the Dryers Farm store, has been here for decades and is definitely part of the community here. Another thing that is close by is the Union County College, which is the community college for all of Union County. It is right up the Springfield Avenue Road. Great option for inexpensive education. Also, like if you're not really 100% sure what you want to do after graduating high school, it's a great option we have here in Union County in Cranford. Lots of kids who are not ready to leave home choose to go there for a year or two until they figure out their next steps. Talk about a charming town. Look at all these beautiful colonials. There's beautiful Victorians. These homes have all been built, 50 to 100 years ago, but very, very well maintained. About a quarter acre per lot, maybe a little bit smaller. So you don't get a ton of land here in Cranford, but you do get a pretty decent size lot. And as you drive further away from the downtown area, you'll see the lots will keep increasing in size. We are now on the north side. Look at this beautiful porch around this old Victorian home. Again, this is a very walkable town. This is not rural or like the true suburbs. These are the suburbs of New Jersey that are walkable, commutable, and just really give you a feel like you're still in the city a little bit with a little more land and a backyard. There's also a lot of new construction going on in Cranford. As we drive, hopefully we'll be able to see a few of the new homes that are being built. Obviously a lot more modern, but most homes that are being built here in Cranford do stay with a colonial feel to make sure that it blends well. This town is very much about preserving their character. So the builders that are coming in and building are trying to keep up with that as well. So most of the new construction that is built is a colonial style home, usually just a lot larger than is currently in its place. As we cross from the north side to the south side, we're gonna kind of pass through the downtown again really quickly. But there's really no difference between the south side and the north side. The only thing, the north side is closer to the river, so there are more areas on the north side that you have to just watch out for flood zones. But other than that, both communities are wonderful to live in. Very family friendly, lots of sidewalks to walk on, lots of kids walk to school. There's really not a lot of busing in our towns here in Union County. So most kids are walking to school or being driven by their parents. Re-laid out the town almost, making sure that there's plenty of parking for people who are visiting the town. They built some garages as well near the Cranford Hotel. Just really making sure that they're accommodating the growing community. Look at some of these homes in the neighborhood. Marina and I had a pleasure of selling an 1800s Victorian home a couple of years ago, and the things you see inside is just incredible. The beams, the plaster walls, the high ceilings, the fireplaces that were used to actually warm the house many years ago. I believe we're actually coming up. Didn't we just pass the house? Oh, there it is. That was the house that we sold. Marina, yay! Look how beautiful. Oh, we're gonna stop by later to show it to you, but that was a beautiful home that we had the pleasure of selling. So as we promised earlier, we're gonna show you 3 homes in this town that sold way over asking. Some of it may be because it was priced really low, but most of it is because there's just so many people that wanna live here. Our first stop is this beautiful Victorian. We are really just minutes away from downtown, maybe a 3-minute drive from the downtown area. It is on the north side. It is 4 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms Victorian, built in the 1890. It's a true fixer-upper, and I really hope whoever purchased it will fix it up and not destroy it and build a brand new construction, but we'll follow along and see what they do with the place. It was listed for $599. earlier this spring, and it closed for $850,000. That is an incredible 42% over asking. Again, it was maybe priced a little too low for the lot size. It is almost a quarter acre. But let me take you to the next house and we'll see how much that house got over asking. Behind me is a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom colonial home. It was listed earlier this season. It was listed actually in February, which honestly is the best time to sell your house if you ask us. But take a look at this beautiful home. It is a colonial. It has a 2-car garage, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. It was listed for $989 and sold for $1.25 million. That is a 26% over the asking price. It was on the market only for 8 days. So obviously, really desirable area to live in, really beautifully maintained home. It is close to the elementary school as well. It was built in 1984, so it's not a super old home. And that's, I think, part of the charm as well. It's, newer build, less maintenance for the homeowners. The house behind me is a custom home. So it is a crossover between a Tudor and a colonial. It sold earlier this year. It is 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, and 2 half bathrooms. It is on the outskirts of Cranford, I would say. It's like closer to Westfield. Actually, across the street is already Westfield. It is not in a flood zone. It was listed for $889 and sold for $1,127,000. That is 27% over the asking price. It is beautifully maintained. Look at that beautiful manicured lawn. Maple trees. I mean, you could tell people really loved living here and loved taking care of this home. It is, as I mentioned, on the border of Westfield and Cranford. Right across the street, you're already in Westfield. Thank you for joining us on this tour of Cranford. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe, hit the notification button so that you know when our new videos are launching, and make sure you give us some comments below and let us know which towns you'd like for us to visit next, and we'll hit the road for you.